Hey YouTube, my name is David and today we're doing another episode of One Piece 5 Minutes where we go through the fundamentals of One Piece to win more games, play better, and just have a better time in general in less than 5 minutes. Today I want to talk to you guys about the concept of mulliganing, and I feel like once I learned how to mulligan, I won a lot more games because it kind of gauges the way the game goes for you. Before we get started, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and let me know and support the channel. I really appreciate it. Also, while you're watching the video, if there's anything I miss or anything you think you can add on, please feel free to drop a comment for any of the people viewing. Today, we're gonna look through 3 different decks to see mulliganing hand. But before we get into that, let's talk about just general mulliganing and what to kind of look for when you pull your first hand. So when you have your initial hand, a lot of decks, of course, have their 1-drops, which is really nice because they're usually searchers, and it's a free play on the first turn because there's nothing really else to do. So whether it's a 1-cost event or a 1-cost searcher, that always goes down on the first turn because it allows you to find and replace a card in your hand and just kind of start beginning to kind of shape your hand the way you want it. Aside from your first turn, there are things that you want to look for on curves. An ideal hand going first would be a 1-drop, a 3-drop, a 5-drop, a 7-drop, a 9-drop, and then that is just playing on curves. So when you hit 1 Don, you have a 1 Don play. When you hit 3 Don, you have a 3 Don play. When you hit 5 Don, you have a 5 Don play, and so on and so forth. You really want to look for curve, but you also want to look for things that you know you want to plan for ahead, like big bodies, removal, board control, events, a lot of different ways to kind of go about it. So let's just get started with the Doflamingo first and see what we end up with. So we're gonna draw 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I actually really enjoy this hand as a Dofi player because we have 1, we have a searcher, we have 2, which is our pudding, allows us to kind of control our opponent's hand. We have 2 Jinbeis that we're able to play and a Boa. Now, this may not end up being the best hand because there isn't much we can do to see and rearrange our deck, which kind of negates our leader ability. But let's go ahead and pretend like we played our Sengoku and look at the next top 5 because that is crucial to our game and see what we can grab. Oh, we have a Marshall D Teach, which is perfect, and it was the last card, so that was a little scary, but I think here I would grab this Marshall D Teach to be able to play off the Jinbei and the Boa, and honestly, this would be a keeper hand. Let's move over to Lucci real quick. So let's draw 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this hand is kind of not good. We do have our reduction, we do have 2 removal and a Rebecca, but we don't really have much to do on the first turns or anything we can do. So let's shuffle this back in and draw for another cards, and hopefully we get a lot better hand. Now, okay, this is actually perfect. We have a removal, we have a 2 reduction, we have this removal, and we have a first turn play, which are spam, which allows us to put 2 in trash or 3 and grab a CP card, which gives us a hand cycle for the first turn, as well as pretty much a lot of the stuff we'll need up until we get to our point where we're playing our big bodies. So this would definitely be a keeper hand because you have 2 reduction, you have your cycle, you have removal, and you can draw into everything else you might need. So this is a good keeper hand. Lastly, guys, let's jump into Bonnie. We have 1 searcher, 2 searcher, a blocker, a 5 Don turn play, and a 2K. Honestly, if I was playing Bonnie, this would be a keep because I can use both of these searchers to find what I need. Bonnie is a slower deck, so having a 2K is really nice in hand because that means I can block out of at least 1 hit before I can start playing my bodies like Carrot and Hawkins. Let's give this one quick shuffle and see what we get for a second hand. But I definitely would have kept that hand if I was playing Bonnie. So let's take this hand and see what we get. This hand is actually, might be even better. We have our Supernova Searcher, we have a blocker, we have a 2K, we have a Cavendish, which is like essential to this deck, and then we have a big body to play in case we can't find any off our searchers. So honestly, if I got this hand over the other, I would definitely keep this hand because this has everything we need to play on curve. We have a first turn play, we have a blocker if we needed a 3rd turn play, and of course we're going to be drawing in between. So like if we drew 1 card for first turn, we have that play, and then we have another big body. So honestly, this hand would be even better than what we got the first time. Bad hands definitely do exist, and let's say you draw like 4 big bodies, 3 or 4 big bodies. Now it is enticing to keep that if you're a new player, but you have to understand that if you're just gonna sit there until you hit 10 Dawn, your opponent's just gonna keep swinging at you and you're not gonna be able to do anything. And it's just gonna be a really bad time, and you're gonna lose pretty quickly and be put in a very, very bad spot where you may not even be able to play your big bodies. Mulligan hands are super important, and learning when and when not to mulligan, especially in specific matchups, because they do vary from matchup to matchup. Depending on who your opponent is, it's really good to know what they need and how they play, how aggressive they are, how passive they are, and just be able to kind of understand what you need to do to get the win. Anyways, that's gonna be all for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the comments and see if there's any feedback from other players who can give you a little bit more advice and add on to what I has had to say. And yeah, stay awesome. See you guys in the next video, and thank you guys so much for supporting. Peace.